So welcome back. In this video, we're going to consider the concept of free will. Do you have full agency over the choices you make in life, or are there larger forces that actually constrain the choices you make, or do you have no free will whatsoever? I hope you enjoy it. Right, so Plato, very instructive for how we make choices in life. And oftentimes we think we have choices, that we're free to choose exactly what we do. We think we have what's called free will. But that's not always been the case. A lot of philosophers think that maybe we don't have free will. We don't have an absolute free choice over what we do. And I brought 3 philosophers that have something to say about this. The first is Karl Marx. You might have seen these Oxford short introductions. They're fantastic books to read if you just want to read around a subject. But Marx has this big quote from the 16th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte, where he talks about men in history, that they may think they can make history, but actually history makes us. And there's a very strong statement about we don't really have volition over our choices. In fact, Marx's theory suggests that the clash between the factors of production and the relations of production drives history. We say these are sort of big societal economic structures that limit the choices we have to make. So in many ways, people thought that Marx was a determinist, that he was an economic determinist, that changes in the economy, the material factors of production actually drives forward transitions, big transitions in the history of the world. However, Marx was also a revolutionary. So part of Marx you could read as, at moments, people can foment a revolution and change history from its current state. In fact, he said that revolutions would happen in the most developed capitalist societies. As it happens, most revolutions don't happen there, they happen somewhere else. And people have argued that actually you need that force to change history. You need a vanguard party, as Lenin said, and you need political action, etc. So Marx can be interpreted as we mostly don't have free will. And then there's Hume. Hume advances a different argument. He's often known as a compatibilist. He actually thinks that there's a compatibility between the determinism of Marx and some of that economic determinism I just talked about, and being able to make choices under certain contexts. So he says that we have some free will and not some free will, depending on the context in which we find ourselves. And finally, Baruch Spinoza has argued that we have no free will whatsoever. The idea that we somehow have choices within our minds that lets us do things is mere fantasy. No free will whatsoever. So, some free will or not free will, depending on context, a compatibilist, and no free will whatsoever. I thought with these 3 philosophers on the table, thinking about the notion of choice, it might be fun for us to have a little experiment. So I need another volunteer. I wonder if could you join us? That'd be great. What's your name? Alex. Alex, come on up here. Stand over here. That's great. Thank you for joining me, Alex. So let's see. I thought what we could do is we could shroud our philosophy books in a kind of double-blind scientific experiment. Would you like to try that? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take the Marx, place him in a bag, like so, and then we'll take Hume and place him in this bag to obscure the cover of the books from our sight, and finally Spinoza in the final bag. Before we do anything else, I have a little envelope here that says free will on it. And just so we don't have any suspicion in the audience, could you hold that for me, please? Since you are incredibly corrupt and unjust. What is your name?
Lola.
Lola. Lula.
Lola.
Lola. Thank you very much, Lola. So Lola's going to hold on to the envelope. Alex, I'm going to turn my back, and if you could just mix up the bags, their order. Okay, I'm going to look at Charlie again. I'll close my eyes back. Charlie's my, great adjudicator here. So Alex, mix up the bags. And then let me know when you've done that. Okay, great. Now you get to look at Charlie and close your eyes and turn your back to me, and I'm going to mix the bags. All right? It's all about probably getting back into the original order. I have no, serious scientific method for doing that. Right, I'm finished, Alex. So a double-blind test. The books are obscured. He mixes them, I mix them, I mix them. We have no idea where anything is. I'm going to offer you the first choice. I'd like to point to one of the bags, please. You want that one?
Yeah.
Would you like to change your mind?
No.
You want to stick to that one?
That is my final.
That is your final choice. Great. I'd like you to discard that one, please, onto the floor. Okay? See what I just did there? Excellent. Now we have a choice of 2 left over. Okay, so we have one here and one here. I'd like you just to point to whatever one you want. Pick it up even. Are you happy with that choice? You are. You don't want to swap?
Nope.
You're absolutely certain that that's the one you want to keep. I can't convince you to switch.
Yes. No. No, I will keep this one.
You
That's
will
what I mean.
keep that one is what you mean. It's a bit
Yes.
like X Factor when they ask the judges who's going to leave the show, right? So you're absolutely happy with that choice. Okay, wonderful. So let's see who everyone has, okay? Let's see who you have. Hume, excellent. And who did I end up with? This will be interesting. Spinoza, fantastic. Which means Marx has been chucked on the floor.
Yep.
That's kind of symbolic, isn't it? Could we see the envelope, please? I'm going to read this out, and you're going to verify what I'm reading is absolutely correct. If you could hold that for me, please, that's great. Okay, so it says, history has shown that Karl Marx is no longer relevant, and he has therefore been discarded. There he is on the floor. Poor Karl. Life is complex, and we sometimes cause our own actions, and sometimes we do not cause our own actions. Therefore, you have Hume.
Correct.
Even though life is complex, one thing is for certain. None of us has free will. Therefore, I have Spinoza. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. We have no free will. Thank you, Alex. Okay. So, something for you to ponder on your way home this evening. How much free will do you actually think that you have? We may never know whether we have complete free will or not, but I hope what you just saw there illustrates the challenges in thinking about that concept. In our next video, we're going to look at what are the foundations for human rights.